with the Western countries, been around for centuries. There's nothing that has ever been better. Even if you could love them in whatever, but they will never help you. They will teach you their English, that's all. But they would not go further than that, in any way.
Africa stands at a crossroads. A powerful warning has just been sent from the United States to South Africa: you may be removed from SWIFT, the backbone of international banking. The reason? A bold speech by former South African President Jacob Zuma, who stood on stage in Accra, Ghana, and challenged Africa's reliance on the US dollar. This isn't just about finance. This is about freedom. About control. About Africa's future in a global economy that was never designed for it to win. If you're African or in the diaspora, this affects you. Let's break it down. SWIFT, short for the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, is the secure messaging system that banks across the world use to send money and verify transactions. It's like the Internet of global banking. If you're cut off from SWIFT, your economy is effectively locked out of global trade. Countries like Iran and Russia have faced SWIFT sanctions in the past, with devastating economic consequences. Now, South Africa might face the same fate. Not because of war or sanctions, but because a former president dared to speak a truth many have whispered for years: Africa's dependence on the US dollar is a chain we need to break. In Ghana, at the University of Professional Studies, Zuma spoke not just to students, but to a generation of Africans looking for real answers. He questioned why African nations continue to trade using the dollar, even with each other. Why must a transaction between Nigeria and Kenya go through New York? Why are our economies vulnerable to decisions made in Washington? This wasn't just political rhetoric, it was a call for economic liberation. Zuma's message echoed the voices of Kwame Nkrumah, Thomas Sankara, Julius Nyerere, leaders who warned us decades ago that political independence without economic sovereignty is still slavery. The US didn't take Zuma's words lightly. Behind closed doors, serious discussions are now happening, including whether to remove South Africa from SWIFT as a response to what they see as increasing economic defiance. Governance expert Sandile Swana has warned that such a move would be catastrophic. It would hit imports, exports, foreign investment, and even basic financial operations like paying international suppliers or receiving funding. South Africa's economy, already under pressure, could buckle. But here's the deeper issue: why is it that a single financial network controlled by the West has so much power over an entire continent? That's the real threat. Not being cut off, but being so dependent that being cut off becomes a weapon. What's happening here is more than an economic dispute, it's a wake-up call for the entire continent. Africa has the resources, the talent, and the market. What it lacks is unified economic infrastructure. Why don't we have an African equivalent of SWIFT? Why aren't we trading more in AFCFTA currency systems? Why do we still measure economic success by Western credit ratings and IMF standards? The truth is, Africa must build its own systems. Not to isolate, but to protect itself. To stand tall. This moment is a gift in disguise. It shows us how fragile the system is, and how powerful Africa could become with unity, vision, and bold leadership. This isn't just South Africa's problem. This is about Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Rwanda, and every African country that's ever had to play by rules it didn't write. This is a reminder that freedom isn't given, it's built. Jacob Zuma's speech may have sparked the fire, but it's up to the rest of us to carry it forward. To speak. To build. To unify. The time has come to stop asking for a seat at someone else's table, and start building our own. Let's make Africa great.
So it is really disappointing that when there is such a very positive collective manifestation such as BRICS, there should be others who see it in negative light and want to punish those who participate in this. It cannot be and should not be. We should be respecting the sovereignty of countries. We should be respecting that we're all equal, that all we should be focusing on is enhancing the prosperity of humanity in all countries.
Yes, hello one, hello all brothers and sisters. US plan to remove South Africa from SWIFT. And of course, also there's a plan for US to remove South Africa from AGOA. All in all, it's because of US claiming that South Africa is mistreating a white minority. You remember President Ramaphosa tried to express himself in front of Mr. Donald Trump, telling Trump that he will correct some mistakes. You remember, if you watch that live streaming from White House when President Ramaphosa visited Trump. But all in all, America still believing that there is white genocide in South Africa and mistreatment of white minority. We may ask ourselves, is it true that America and the world does not recognize that there is no white genocide in South Africa? And what is behind this reason? I've been saying this, in South Africa, the land, almost 75% of the land in South Africa owned by white minority. And this time, black people, who are majority, have asked that, let us share the land. Let us also, we Africans, share the land in order for we Africans, black people, to invest in industries, mining, agriculture. But the white minority are saying, no, this is our land. We will not give up our land. This is the land given by our ancestors. But the truth is that white minority are not ready to give up the land, because the land has minerals, has resources. To give up the land to black people, to South Africans, it means to give up wealth. The thing that white minority in South Africa are not ready to share the land or to share wealth of South Africa. They're still believing that the wealth of South Africa is owned by whites only. You know what they're saying? They have developed the land, so we need to be compensated. They're asking that they want to be compensated for developing the land. But let us ask ourselves about the land. When the land was taken by colonizers, no African black people were compensated. And yet today, when the grandchildren of our ancestors are asking white minority that let us share the land, they're saying they want to be compensated because they have developed the land. And because the white people love each other, live well organized, that's why you see whites in Europe, whites in America are working closely with whites in South Africa and defending them. Have you heard white people defending black people? Have you heard something like that? No. Black people are not defended by black people. Black people are not defended by white people. Black people are ignored almost everywhere. And that's why you see a leader such as Mr. Julius Malema is always calling for African black people to unite. The only salvation for black people is unity. Without unity, black people will continue to suffer almost everywhere. So the main issue here is about why South Africa is going to be punished. South Africa is going to be punished because of the land that is full of minerals. No one wants to share the wealth of South Africa, especially to those who own it. If you are familiar A few days ago, the former president of South Africa, Mr. Jacob Zuma, provided one of the powerful speech in Ghana. He said that when South Africa attained independence, there are some laws that was put in place to make sure that South Africans looks free, but resources remain in the hands of colonizers. And among of those resources is the land. As I speak to you now, the land in South Africa, large land, large percent of the land, 75% of the land is owned by white minority. While the remains, you include Indians, colored, black people, own 25%. You see? So, yes, we are free, but we don't own the resources. And that's why you hear the word xenophobic in South Africa. That's xenophobic attack in South Africa, where black people attack fellow black people. Why? It's because we are fighting for crumbs, we are fighting for resources. We believe that maybe if Nigerian or Congolese or Zimbabwean went or going to South Africa, they are going to take the land. They are going to take not just the land. They are going, because there's no land. They are going to take jobs for whites. I mean for black South Africans who own nothing. So that's why there's this thing, something called xenophobic attack. And I'm asking Africans, South Africa cannot be free as long as Africa is not supporting South Africans. We supported South Africa to have a flag and national anthem. Let us support South Africa to have total freedom. And the freedom that we are talking about is to own resources. I know it will be difficult, but there's no way we have to support South Africa to own the land. That's the only solution for South Africa to achieve. So families, friends, fellow Africans, after that, let me say one thing. Have a nice time. The aim is to share this something that has happened in South Africa, especially concerning about the US. The government of Donald Trump is standing in the neck of South Africa. South Africa cannot breathe, and I see South Africans saying, I can't breathe. Punishment is too heavy. They will be removed from AGOA. They will be removed from SWIFT. If it's true, that in all, let us unite and work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Africa.